All right, Wolf Pups, we'll keep this one short and sweet. You guys seen today the response that came from H&R concerning DO 522. In a nutshell, it says what it says. You can now smoke marijuana as a recreational thing off duty, and that's all there is to it, man. I mean, you can read into it all you want. They were a little bit of a coward, I would say, because they yet again went through this all explanation saying we're not going to recommend it. You still work for the state, and if you come in loopy and blah 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 yada yada bullshit, it's no different than alcohol. Listen, don't read into it. It's just like alcohol. Off duty, do what you want. Next morning, be ready to come to work, right? You don't get up in the morning and start slamming down beers and shit. You don't do that with marijuana neither. Let's be safe with that. Do it as a recreation when you get home. Personally, and I already thought about this, if I was working for the state, why get a marijuana card at this point? It's a recreational tool at this point. So take advantage of it, you know? And let's not read into it. And supervisors, especially, because I've had a few already told me, you know, this thing, they're going to backfire. They're going to try to go after staff. Don't tell your staff that, and don't read into it, okay? These guys ain't that bright. If they try, then let them try, especially if you're part of ADCRR. If they try to even touch you after they've authorized it, just come see us. We'll just rake them through the coals. But, you know, it was a little bit of a trap from my end, you know, a little bit of a trap because I emailed them, the wardens. I have a whole paper trail when they answered back, including the director saying, you're right, we'll look at it and correct it. And now they did, and they've added to the paper trail. It is legal, okay? In 5 years' time, we'll forget all about it. We won't even be talking about it. It'll be just like anything else. And, you know, it's just a novelty now. And you have all these politicians and people that don't want to say the word marijuana like it's taboo. You know, give me a fucking break. You know what? They're probably all been smoking this for a long time. And now all of a sudden they just want to come out looking squeaky clean. It's always the same bullshit. But let's not read into it. All right? That's what I wanted to make sure. Supervisors, don't read into it. It's allowed. Be brave. Tell them, yeah, it's in policy now. It's absolutely, you can do it off. Pretend it's alcohol. Do I need to discuss to you how to behave like a you know, normal when you're drinking at home? Do I need to tell you, don't bring it in? Don't smell like alcohol because you drank in the morning and shit. Don't come in drunk. Don't come in high. Do that shit at home. It's recreational. It's allowed. Absolutely allowed. And the email almost was on the border of ambiguous because they go through, notice it didn't come from the director. It didn't come from any of his people like Tara Diaz or whoever is running stuff up there. It came from H&R. That makes it even, to me, you know what, more official. Even though I know what it is, nobody wants to touch it. They still don't want to touch it, all right? Because everybody's getting high now, and it's a big deal. Seriously, we've been getting drunk for years in DLC. Now we're adding marijuana to it, and it becomes a big taboo thing? No, it does not. You know, humans are so crazy. I brought this up in my last video. In Reno, Nevada, right? The age of consent is 16 years old. That means that if you're a man or woman and you have sex with a 16-year-old in that state, as long as they consent, right? Then it's consensual sex. Try that shit anywhere else where the age limit should be 18, because 16, sorry guys, is still a child. But figure it out. Anywhere else you're a sex offender. Nobody wants to touch that shit because they're scared. Same story with the emperor. God, nobody wants to tell the emperor the ding-dong's hanging out, right? I'm saying ding-dong's hanging out. Listen, having sex with a 16-year-old over there, legal. Here, you're a sex offender, and they rake you through the coals. Nobody can make up their fucking minds with these stories and shit. Marijuana is right now suffering the same thing. It has such a long taboo about it being a drug and this and that, and who fucking cares? You know what? It has just been downgraded to the level of alcohol. Let's not talk about it. Let's not overkill it, all right? We're saying it. It's in policy. It's in that email. You can now do marijuana recreational. You don't need a card. Absolutely not. If I was you guys, I'm just saying for me, I'm not giving advice. I'm just saying from my perspective, if I was in DLC, I would not. The hell am I needing a card for? I know what's wrong with me. Half of you guys know what's wrong with me. All right, so let's not overkill that. It's allowed. 10-4, let's not drag this through the coals anymore. You want to keep that policy on your phone, whatever, on speed dial, go ahead. I would wager that in the future here, real shortly, now that this is a thing, they're going to see the problems that are going to come up. I mean, we haven't even addressed what happens when you come through and there's, you know, the canines doing sniffs, right? I'm just saying, right? that's going to be a problem. With that said, how to avoid that? There's very little to avoid. Marijuana, smells, unless you do edibles, it's not so smelly. But if you smoke it, what do I tell you? Listen, do that at home. In the morning when you go to work and you put on your uniform and you showered or whatever hell your hygiene habits are, go to work and that's it. It's done. Don't start, because I've heard people say, oh my God, the policy says now that if you come in loopy, they can test you for it. So what? I mean, you could be loopy from a million things. Look at me. I look loopy all the time, but there's nothing in my system. I don't even do marijuana, and that's funny. I don't even do it. But what are they going to do? Test you for the level of THC in your blood because you do it at nighttime? It's ridiculous. Don't listen to it. They don't even test for it no more. They made it clear, but they skedaddled around it. Oh, it's only for, when you get your CDL and Department of Transportation. They didn't want to touch that and let you know that it's fine now. Okay, no different than alcohol. Are we on the same page so we don't overkill this? Roger. Until next time, let's have a safe one.